He's already been stopped twice today. Keeps driving around and around with a substandard helmet and slippers.
Kinikita ka na walang helmet, nakatsinelas. Tapos tuloy ka pa rin, tapos sasabihin mo natikita ka na. Hindi ito about the ticket. Hindi ito about the ticket. This is about your safety. Diba? Kaligtasan mo ang iniisip namin. Mali ka na. Kaya nga tinikita ka na, walang unauthorized helmet, sleepers.
Sorry po, sir.
Tapos ngayon, iikot ka pa, ganun pa rin, hindi ka natututo.
Sorry po talaga, sir.
Hindi ito about yung yung ticket lang. Kaligtasan nyo, isipin nyo.
Opo, sir. Sorry po, sir. Hindi na po maulit, sir.
Hindi nga mauulit. Inulit mo na nga
Sorry po.
Ilang ulit pa dapat? 2, 3?
Hindi na po, sir.
Bihira talaga kayo.
Sir, sorry.
Kung nakakuha kayo ng lisensya, hindi ko alam kung bakit ganyan
Sorry po.
Hindi nga, huwag kayong magmotor, huwag nyo ipilit.
Opo.
Huwag kayong naka-aksidente o ikaw na-aksidente. Kawawa yung makaka-aksidente sa'yo kasi ang dami niyang babayaran dahil hindi ka nakasapatos, unauthorized helmet ka.
Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road, 2nd Avenue, Caloocan City. A lot of the vehicles that were ticketed and towed before are being ticketed and towed again. Actually, the taxi was also here earlier, but he already managed to escape. And all of the tricycles and e-trikes that were parked here last time, they're also here. That's why the neighbors have been complaining, not just about these, but all of the illegally parked vehicles. Last time the team were here, they suddenly moved their e-trike inside. So they do have space to put it inside, but of course they prefer it outside instead of occupying space on their private property. And a couple more motorcycles that will be taken over to the tow truck. No drivers to show a license and take a ticket. Those drivers who showed their license are able to leave with just a ticket. And you'll see one of those tricycles going on the tow truck now. Of course, there's the conflict with the fire trucks also obstructing the road. If they issue tickets, if they tow the vehicles, people say, hey, you're stupid, you're inconsiderate, those are emergency vehicles. If they don't issue tickets, if they don't tow the vehicle, people would say, hey, you're unfair, you're picking up the motorcycles, the tricycles, the cars, but you're ignoring the volunteer fire trucks, ambulances, which are a bigger obstruction. So it's a difficult balancing act. And there goes another motorcycle, taking it over to the tow truck. This car just pulled out of a garage, so obviously they have no problem. They have a legal parking space inside. And in fact, that motorcycle that was ticketed is also going inside now. And the e-trike. Over here you see 2 more motorcycles being ticketed, parked on the sidewalk. I understand that it's more cost efficient to use your motorcycle, but it's so dangerous. That little baby, no way, I'm sorry, but no way will it survive if there's even a minor accident. Probably. That rider's been flagged down for the substandard helmet and the unauthorized, the slippers. Okay, they actually told that rider to stop, but he ignored them and kept going. Handed over his license, so apart from the fact that initially he didn't stop, no problem. They flagged down this motorcycle rider, no helmet, no shoes. Apparently there was also an issue with him earlier. He can't show a license, so this time it's going to be impounded. The towing crew just came in now. You'll see a lot of motorcycles, tricycles have been loaded onto the tow trucks already. And although it took a little while, the driver of the other fire truck also arrived, and they're both going to be rolling out now. It looks like one of those fire trucks is going inside the garage of the buses, so maybe they do have some kind of agreement with them. Of course, nobody's doubting the hard work of volunteer firefighters. They do save lives, they do save properties. Over here, there's a big empty lot. This is only around 50 meters from where they were parked. So maybe if all the residents come together, they can find the owner and convert this to paid parking. That's what happened in Quezon City. The barangays coordinated with landowners and converted empty lots to paid parking. And now all the illegally parked vehicles have been removed. You can see all the garbage that's left behind. The reason for that is street sweepers cannot get here if they're parked vehicles. So that's why you end up with a situation like this, where there's really a lot of garbage. I mean, this isn't too bad. We do see worse every day. This motorcycle rider was apprehended for riding without a helmet. He had a helmet and he put it on now, but earlier he wasn't wearing it. And actually he had to be chased by the big bikes because he failed to stop. That's why you'll see the bike up ahead managed to block him off. So they've issued a ticket now. It's crazy. He had a helmet, just doesn't want to wear it. There's a huge sign here that says no parking. And then you'll see this vehicle illegally parked, having their wheel vulcanized. That's the reality when you allow vulcanizing shops, but they don't have any parking for their customers. They will just use the road. And you might say, well, maybe it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, you put on your spare tire and then you find a legal place to have the other tire vulcanized. Ultimately, it's the driver that illegally parked the vehicle that pays the price, the penalty. It doesn't really have any effect on the vulcanizing shop. They can do this all day, every day, and if their customers get ticketed, it's not their problem. You'll actually see vehicles have occupied most of the sidewalks and road here. A lot of people are trying to run away before they get tickets. One side parking ordinance, but in reality, vehicles are parked on both sides and the sidewalks. And that's the consequence. Children walking in the middle of the road because the sidewalks and the road itself is fully obstructed. You'll actually see the motorcycles in the background rushing to take them inside so they're not going to get ticketed. Same thing over here. So people have space for their vehicles. They just don't want to occupy their own space. They would rather occupy the sidewalk, occupy the road. That's just how it is. Inconvenience to other people, not to themselves. You can clearly see this is a sidewalk for pedestrians. Look at that. What style of parking is that? Sidewalk and road just fully obstruct them. No wonder there's traffic every day. The owner type Jeep was already ticketed, so he's able to drive away instead of being impounded. Many riders are already ticketed for illegal parking. If they can show a license, that's all it is, ticket and then ride away. Otherwise it gets impounded, whether it's on the road or it's on the sidewalk like those over there. And actually the tow trucks are coming in now for those vehicles that are unattended and need to be towed away. The funny thing is there's some camotes who say, hey, they're just trying to get Christmas bonus, when in fact MMDA enforcers get paid the same whether they issue 1 ticket or 100 tickets. They don't get any commission on their tickets. LGU enforcers, some of those get a commission from their city. According to enforcers, there was a bit of drama with this vehicle. The driver did come out but allegedly didn't want to cooperate. That's why it ended up getting towed. Allegedly they were trying to call someone in a certain government office and some other things, but either way it's gone on the tow truck. If they'd have showed a license, they could have driven away with just a ticket, same as everyone else that you saw. And here goes another one that was also cleared from the sidewalk. And slowly but surely you'll see the sidewalk is returning. Although it's impossible that the barangay don't know about this, because look, somebody cemented these ramps. You cannot do that without anyone from the barangay noticing. It's impossible. Do you see how much clearer the street looks now? It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Just imagine if the barangay did what the MMDA do. Wow, you would feel a huge difference on the road. That rider was apprehended for the unauthorized helmet. If you look at the bike, look at that. Obviously he spent a lot of effort. But the helmet, unfortunately unauthorized. That's a 3,000 peso penalty. This motorcycle was also chased by the big bikes because it refused to stop. No helmet, no shoes. The crazy thing is, inside the bike, there's a helmet. Just doesn't want to wear it. If you're wondering why I'm filming the chickens, I'm just waiting for this standoff over here. Apparently the neighbors were asking, what's the standard? How much sidewalk is there meant to be? Either way, it seems like the situation has been resolved and the vehicle has been loaded onto the tow truck. The team are now on 8th Avenue and some of the drivers have run out again. Sometimes drivers think that if you arrive quick enough, you won't be given a ticket. You'll still be given a ticket, you just won't get towed away. And actually the tow truck's coming in now to pick up that vehicle. The guy with the vehicle said his license is expired, so they can't let him drive away. Obviously if he has an accident and then they find out the enforcers knew he's not holding a valid license, they would be held responsible for allowing that. And who knows why the license isn't renewed. Maybe he can't renew it because of unpaid violations. Maybe he's medically unfit or the license was put on hold. There's no way to know. There could be a million reasons. Maybe he's just been busy. either way, since he can't show a valid license, he goes on the tow truck. And do you remember that new sidewalk that the government built? And this new road that the government built? Already fully obstructed with heavy machineries, metal, and all of their trucks parked here. So well spent money, I guess. And the brand new sidewalk constructed on the other side of the road, exactly the same thing, obstructed already. So I don't know, is there any point in building new roads, new sidewalks, if that's what they're going to do? And remember last time the MMDA were here, they made them remove all these metal sheets from the sidewalk. They're back again. I just don't know. Did the barangay not notice this? There have been so many complaints. I've lost count the number of complaints about this specific area. Over here you'll see a vehicle parked on the sidewalk. That's why the tow truck are getting ready to pick it up now. No driver, unfortunately. This motorcycle was apprehended, and on the front it says House of Representatives, but when they asked him if he has any association with them, he said no. So why is he using the sticker? What's the purpose? Over here you'll see what is obviously a sidewalk. The problem is when you get to this point, someone has painted the floor to make people think it's a parking area. So pedestrians like this lady walk into the busy road, and then not only is the sidewalk obstructed, but even the road itself is obstructed. They even painted motorcycle parking. And in case you don't recognize the area, this is Rizal Avenue, a very busy road. All of the vehicles moved except for this one. They kept asking where's the driver, nobody came out. So I don't know, maybe they're not taking MMDA seriously. That's why the tow truck's being called in now. So this is interesting. After the tow truck came in, a guy with a helmet came out and wanted to move the car. Allegedly, he doesn't even have a license. And then eventually someone else came out and said, this is my vehicle. So they've actually been watching the MMDA outside all this time, waiting for the driver, asking if there's a driver. And only at the time that the tow truck started connecting, they came out and said, hey, that's my car. So unfortunately, since they've started the towing process, it will be completed. They came in to clear these two tricycles, and it turns out there's a guy sleeping inside. He was deaf, so they were having a little bit of difficulty at first until they realized. And then he asked them for some money. They gave him some, and he had the biggest smile. It was so cute. I didn't have it on camera. Anyway, the tricycle was not his. He was just sleeping inside it. And the rider's now removing his motorcycle from the sidewalk. There's also a basketball hoop here. So I don't know if that sometimes gets put in the road. And then there's some chicken over here. The importer just took a photo of this one, parked on the sidewalk. It looks like all of the properties along here have garages, so I'd be surprised if they don't have space inside. The towing crew are walking around taking a video because they want to document damage like this, so that if they pick it up and there's a complaint later, they can say it was already like that. There's another vehicle parked on the sidewalk over there. Someone came out, but they said it's a stalled vehicle, it doesn't work anymore, so they can't drive it away. You'll see a big sign there that says no parking, and then there's a vehicle parked beside it. So they're issuing a ticket now to the driver. And the same thing for all the other cars that are parked along here. The drivers are coming out, so it's only tickets. Look at the pedestrian crossing, and then there's an MC. And actually, there's a lot more motorcycles around here. Honestly, I'm surprised the city didn't pass a one-side parking ordinance. But there's so many signs, it really says no parking. And actually, this is really interesting. This is a sidewalk, but you can see there's fresh construction. Someone has converted it into a ramp, and there are parking lines here. That's really how it happens. The original curb gets destroyed, it gets converted to a parking area, and then pedestrians, you're out of luck.